there were problems with the training vein. We didn't train the first day. Is everything okay this time? I sure you have a training vein.
I think everything is okay. I don't see a problem for the moment, except what I said already, that there are some players not there. That it's a pity. Players who are injured, but for the rest, I'm very happy, and I hope to see the same performances that what I saw in September.
Where are you training this time? And when are you going to?
We go on Sunday to Bombela, and we stay there for the 2 games, and we come back on Monday.
Coach, let's talk about your choice of the 2 opponents, because I understand that you also had an invitation from Algeria, which I felt was a strong team.
Yeah, and that I refused because I don't want to travel again 24 hours. And that's the problem here in Africa. When you want to travel, you need 1 day. You are 1 day in the plane, and you have to wait on airports to have connection with another plane. So we did enough. We went to France, we went to Morocco, so I didn't want to have again an opponent from whom we have to travel 24 hours. Secondly, I think it's not the moment now to play against such a team like Algeria. They are better than we for the moment. So maybe some guys are disappointed now because they were ready to criticize again if we should lose against Algeria. But I'm a little bit smarter now than a few months ago.
Coach, you've raised the competitiveness of the squad by, some players weren't in, your regulars, new players coming in doing well. But there's 2 players in particular doing well in Europe, which is Kodisang and Motiba. Are you aware of their form and why have they been overlooked?
Yeah, for Motiba it's simple. He's since 2 weeks with the team, and he's just playing half an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. Is that a standard to take a player? I don't know. I don't think so. You need to do performances one after another. He was injured a long time. He didn't play in Toulouse last year. So let's see and what happens. And with Kodisang it's the same. Kodisang was playing with the Olympics, and after that he was in Braga, 3rd division in Portugal. He didn't play, and now suddenly he's good. Okay, let him going on, and let him going on being good, and then we will have a very good player in March. So I don't want to take Kodisang and to replace another one, because the players who were there in September satisfied me, except some others. But they satisfied me. You see it on the selection I made. But again, we have an eye on Kodisang, and when he goes on like this, he certainly will be there in March.
Coach, I'm looking at Kodisang, as you say, he was in the Olympics, and I see some of the players who are in the current team were also in the Olympics. And I think, to be fair, when I look at the division where he's playing, the 2nd division in Portugal, which is better level than PSL, and I think when you look at his form, he's been on form from the beginning of the season, and he's been more consistent than some of the local players.
Yeah, but you see, when you take a player, he has to be better. That is first. Secondly, I said already, it's very easy to name all the players who are playing abroad, if they are. But then I ask you, okay, you take Kodisang. Tell me who I have to keep out of the 23. Because it's easy for you to say always, this one has to be there, this one has to be there, this one has to be there. Okay, I read in the newspaper 5 players who has to be there now. Okay, take 5 players out, up to you. And you will say, yeah, that's your work. Okay, that's my work, so I don't do it.
Kodisang took out Sigota in the Olympics. Sigota didn't go to the Olympics.
Yeah, but Sigota didn't disappoint me the last game.
Do you think maybe the monitoring of overseas players, would you prefer a better way than just watch on the laptop, which doesn't really give you the exact picture that you get when you
Do
go
you
to FNB.
do you have 35 people for me who are going to all the games to see live? I can be on 3 games on the same moment. So if you want to do what you are saying, then you need 35 people who are going around in Europe and going to see all those players. So what's the difference to see it live and to see it on laptop? And it's not possible. You can't do it. You can't do it. It costs a lot of money and it costs a lot of people.
In fact, still on that, we were talking to the CEO last week, and he talks about this very important matter of having scouts, and I think he says they are finalizing having scouts who are going to go and watch those players overseas, because I see that there's an increasing number, and when you look at it, I know that as you say, you are basing your selection on the players that you've watched. So this is going to assist.
Yeah, but again, scouting players that needs an organization, and for the moment we don't have it on SAFA. We don't have it. I read an article when I came back from Durban this weekend during the flight, and they were saying that scouting here in South Africa is very poor. I didn't say that. It was in the paper.
You wrote that article.
Yeah. So I think, and what I said already before, there are things that has to be changed, but it's not up to me. I'm just a coach.
Coach, sorry. If we go back to the actual selection of the squad, I mean, you've added Saleng, and while we're all expecting Matt to make the team, I know it's 2 different positions. One is a defensive mid, and the other one is an attacker. But with the current exciting players, news that are around, players that are making news in the country when it comes to football, what has made the cut for Saleng, and what has made, press the eject button for Matt?
The performances.
But one can say he scored a brilliant goal.
Yeah, but do you think it's enough when you score a brilliant goal? And everybody was saying that Mars was not playing good with Chiefs. I'm not saying. I read it in the paper. So he was not playing good. And then suddenly he marks a fantastic goal, and then you will say, "Oh, you see, a fantastic goal. He's again on level." Why? Because he scored that goal? No, it's not like that. And when you will select like that, then every time when we have to select, you will have 25 new players, because there is always one who is playing at that moment good. It's not working like that. So March is someone, we look at him every week, like we did on the 40 other players, and if Mart is again on level like he was in Shekikune, what he didn't do till now in Pirates, you agree? Okay, it's up to him.
But you could argue that somebody like Mobbie, he got dropped 2 games for Sekukune. Does it not count the same for him when his performance levels drop?
And that's the other way. It's not because suddenly he's not playing 2 games that you have to keep him out of the team. So Zwane don't play. I don't take him. He don't play in Sundowns. Yes, that's what you're saying now about Mobbie. So this is not the way either to go. This is not the way either. So it's very important that you keep your players, that you have a standard team, a standard selection. It's very important. And now I will try to go on, but I agree with you. If some of those players are not playing for 4 or 5 weeks, yeah, okay, then it's very difficult for me to keep such a player. But it's not because suddenly someone is 2 games not in the team that I have to change. Okay, there are some players here who didn't play last week, and the most important, Zwane. Why shouldn't I take him? Because he's not playing in Sundowns.
Coach, you've got one exciting inclusion for me is the young TS Galaxy goalkeeper, Telezi, I think. Yeah. What does he have that other young goalkeeper, or rather new goalkeepers at his age don't have? Of course, you dropped a Bruce and
Yeah, but Bruce don't play.
yeah, yes, I know he doesn't play, but what qualities do you see from him? I mean, he plays for a TS Galaxy, a club that other people would normally
When you see the games of Galaxy, you see how good he is, and it's very difficult to evaluate a goalkeeper for me, because I'm not a goalkeeper. So that's why our goalkeeper coach do that. And when this one is coming after the camp in September and tell me, oh, I didn't know that he was so good, then I have to believe him. And that's why he's with us. Bruce, you can't take for a moment. Okay, Goss is doing well now with Supersport, but Telezi was with us in September, though. Why should I now change and take Goss or another one? No.
Just to follow up on that, coach, does it then ease your worries about the lack of quality goalkeepers in South Africa who are South African when it comes to your selection, seeing that you are adding him now into your port of goalkeepers?
Yeah, but that's a fact. Huh? We don't have so much good goalkeepers, African goalkeepers. Most of the time, the goalkeepers are foreign goalkeepers who are good, who are playing. There was a time there were only 3 or 4 African goalkeepers who were playing in PSL. Not so long ago, eh? So that means that we don't have the quality. So if we find on someone like Betelesi, okay, keep him then. And he's a guy with a great potential. He's big. He's a personality in his goal. Okay, and he's doing well. He does good performances. So why discussing about him?
Yeah, coach. When I look at how, especially a team like Angola has started in the AFCON qualifiers, I think the same number of points with Ghana. They won and they drew. And the bigger picture, obviously, is the last international week before match against Liberia. What are you expecting from these two teams? And also, judging how I heard you talking earlier, I gathered that maybe now you are working more on your starting lineup going forward.
What I'm expecting is that, and therefore they are there. We needed 2 good opponents, not top. I didn't want the top of Africa, but good opponents. So I saw Angola playing for Shan. You know the result. So we have to make something good, I think, in that game. And I saw Mozambique, who surprised me. Honestly, they surprised me. It's not a bad team, not at all. So it will be a good test for us. And that's important too, that sometimes you play against tough opponents to see where you are. Again, we don't have to cry victory after that good performance against Sierra Leone. It needs a confirmation, and that's what I expect now.
And technically, two good teams with good players in Europe. I think Mozambique has got a player at Atletico Madrid as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if they will play with those players. I think they will prepare themselves also for Shan in January. But again, I saw the playing without the players in Europe, and they're still a good team.
And I heard you talking about Evidence Mahopa saying that there's no player obviously in the mold of Mahopa at the moment in the country. So you mean that surely there's no any other player that can...
Not that type, no.
That type.
Not that profile, no. No.
So if fit Mahopa is in your squad?
Sorry?
If Mahopa is fit, he's in your squad?
If Magosba is playing, he would be with us, yes. He was always with us before New Year, always. Always. And then, yes, he played in a team who was struggling to keep first division, so they didn't succeed. And now, with the injury, he didn't play for 4 months. So, let's hope he will get back to the team.
think Longwane was also a regular with you.
Yeah, but Longwane was injured beginning of September. And he came back in the half of October to play one game, 75 minutes. And then from that, it was finished in America. So we are now nearly 1 month later. I don't think it's good for him to call him with us, because he don't have the games in his legs. Same thing for Percy. It's impossible when you don't play games to be good on a level, an international level. It's impossible.
And
You
Coach,
need to play.
So you've spoken about Makgopa saying that he's one player that's absolutely different. Maybe the metrics that you see him to be quite different from the rest of the strikers, that he's the only one in your eyes that he's different. What is it? Why is he different? In what sense?
Magopa.
Yeah.
Magopa is a tall player. He's good with the head. He's technical, not so bad, but can much improve, and that's why something they have to work on. But I can do it. I'm a Bafana coach. We don't have the time to do that, but I hope they do it in the club. That they're working with him, positioning before in front of the goal, protecting the ball. Yes, asking the ball and all those things, because he has the potential. He has this good profile. But yeah, there is still a lot of work to do with him.
And lastly, Coach, in regards to him,
What?
you like him, the way that you speak about
I like Magopa. Therefore, he was with us from the beginning. But I saw immediately that the potential is there, but that we have to work a lot with him to get him really a good striker.
And as a human being, you've been with him on camps, different camps. What type of a human being is he?
With who?
What type of a human being is he in camp when you speak to him or engage him on the training fields and so forth?
I don't
Makgopa.
understand you.
Personality. Like his personality.
Makgopa's personality.
What type of a human
What
being
type
is
of
he?
person is he?
I don't understand you.
As a person.
A person. As a,
He's asking as a
Is he
person.
bubbly? Is he
Is he happy? Is he
Who?
great to be around?
Makgopa.
Is he? Yes.
His personality.
But yeah. That you want. Yeah, he's a great guy in the group. Certainly, absolutely.
Coach.
Yeah,
Coach,
Coach,
you've been in the job now. Sorry, thank you. You've been in the job now for around 18 months, if I can count correctly. Is the team where you thought it would be at this stage? And what are realistic expectations, just generally from the public? What
No,
should
I wanted to be already a little bit further. But okay, we had bad luck that we had to play against teams who were better than we, and we lost every time. And there came a lot of critics from guys what I think don't know so much about football. And they criticized us, they criticized me. So they took the confidence from the players. We were not confident anymore. Even when we had very good qualifiers for World Cup, we lost one game. We won 4 and 1 draw. And still there was critic. So this was not normal. So, and that that put us a little bit back in the development of the team. So it took a little bit more time than I expected. And I hope now with this team and with the players who are not there, still not there for the moment, that we have the standard selection that we will see every time when we had to play with Bafana Bafana, and there will be some changes, but not so more than in the past, and that we can go on working with this team and not looking every time we played with Bafana Bafana for other players, for better players. I think we have it all now, and now it has to, the results have to follow.
Coach, since the last time we spoke to you, Safa has since now employed a full-time technical director. Have you already met in terms of mapping the way forward and maybe even worked on how best he can assist you on some of the challenges that you've had as national team coaches, and also especially also as someone who's been a technical director yourself?
I had with him a meeting, and after the meeting we said to each other, there is a lot of work. It's up to him, to SAFA, to South African football to work on it. That's it. It's not enough to say it, because here we always hear it. Oh, this is not good, that is not good, that is not good. Oh, we have to do this. We always telling it, but we don't do it. So that's all I can say about it. It's not my responsibility.
Having been in this space,
What?
now, having been in this space for more than a year, what is critical? That
I will not
coaches
repeat
need
that
here.
again. I will not repeat that again. But otherwise, those guys blame me again for disrespect to the nation. Yeah, but you laugh with it. It's unbelievable. And then when you 14 days later you read from a former player identically the same thing, and there is no reaction. Tell me why. So finish for me. This is for me important, and all the rest, it's up to you, to South Africa.
Coach, just back to your squad here with the injuries that you've mentioned, Mayela, CBC, and with the league having gone into recess now because of MTN. Are you comfortable with your players playing this tournament that we have this weekend, since it's not an
No.
official tournament?
No, because I don't see the sense of it. It's money. But I should be more happy when that tournament should have played just before the league started again. Now you lose. There are only 4 teams, huh? And then when I hear that people can choose the team, what is the? Yeah, okay, it's publicity, and I understand that, and but why do it now? Why losing a week? Do it. It should be good for. They should be happy, eh? Sundowns, Amazulu, Kaisers, and Pirates to play this tournament 1 week or 2 weeks before the restart of the league.
It's like
They have good games. But now I don't think they are not. Yeah, they are happy because there's money to win. But I don't think players are happy to play such a tournament now. And even the coaches, I think.
So are you able to make a request now that your squad has been finalized that these players in this squad don't play in this tournament? Do you think
Yes,
it's
no,
possible?
they can play for me. This is not. This is not why I wanted to see it playing in December. It's just the time. So we could have more time for Bafana Bafana.
But maybe they can argue, coach. They can argue and say the international week only starts from 14th November.
What?
They can argue and say the international week only starts from the 14th of November.
Yeah, it's 1 week. Eh? If there was no tournament, we should maybe been together already now. And that was the plan. Till I heard that there was this tournament. Then we have to make a cross over it.
Coach, just an aside, with only potentially 1 player from our league going to the World Cup, do you think that is a reflection of the quality of the league or not? As someone who watches the games.
No
objectively.
comment.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for participating in this.